Morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great day and welcome to the today's session. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit different about the movie which I watched a couple of days back, 12th Fail. What a great movie to start off. Hats off to those characters and also the real story behind 12th Fail, Mr. Manoj Kumar. Great to watch those kind of a motivational, and it really tells us how fortunate many of us in our lives, considering that's a real story. Well, just let's think about it. It's not a real story. And look at just watching the movie, what can we take? And what are the things? Because obviously, uh, they may just capture a couple of glimpses of entire real life story of Mr. Manoj Kumar. However, what can we learn from the movie from the beginning? And I have a couple of interesting things and facts how we can connect these dots and to apply in our life is the aim and theme of this video. And I hope that helps you for you to put a couple of things in place and also see yourself how fortunate we are all can be given the circumstances, irrespective of what are the circumstances you may be going through. Number one is that your present circumstances or the situations you're going through right now. Your present circumstances cannot determine your future. Your present circumstances may influence the situations around you at this point of time. But taking action today, whatever it may be, and whichever the direction you wanted to go, the future can be determined good or bad way. It depends on what action are you taking today. That is number one. Your present circumstances will not determine what you can become for your future. That's number one thing that you need to take out of this movie. Your present circumstances will not determine who you will become for your future. Of course, there are many things that we're going to discuss. Looking back that movie, where he was grown up, situations, the family circumstances, the financial situations where they had at that time, towards for him to reach the top positions, and what goes from there to there, in between, what is his suffering, what is his action, what is his determination. Is this all the movie about? If you haven't watched the movie, please stop this video, go back, watch the movie, and come back to this video and to see what are the things that we're going to discuss. And of course, if you have more points to add, feel free to add to the community so that everyone can learn from this. Number one, once again, your present circumstances will not determine your future. You have to take action. It may influence at present situations, but it will not determine your future, what you could become or what you can become with your right attitude. Okay, now I believe there are, let's say, three women influenced him in a big way. The first one is his grandmother, and his grandmother, who saves her entire whatever the savings she had at that point of time, she gives him to pursue his dream. That is one person who influences, and then she is actually the strong motivational factor for him, because she always tells to him when he comes back to this village, come with the uniforms. See, that's the motivation that she gives. And the second important part, obviously, I'm not talking about the mother. Mother always influences the child. I would say the third one who influences him the most is woman he meets during his journey, and she pushes him as well in a different way. Okay, that the story can go in a different direction, but at the same time, she pushes him to pursue his goal, and then he eventually. So there are a lot of people in our life who comes and motivate us in a different ways. So you need to look into what are the motivation behind for what you want to achieve, and then who is driving you that, and what drives you that, and why it drives you that. maybe the financial circumstances is one of them, and also something else drives him, that he really wanted to change his place around with his power, let's say. Now let's talk about his determination and where the seed came from him to become a police officer, by the way. Now, as you may see, that they're writing exams, and then it's all over, and then people write the answers on the boards, and then eventually one gentleman comes as a police officer, and then he takes the principal, and then because principal tries to bribe him, and the police takes him and then stops the entire examination. Obviously, everyone fails because everyone is expecting to see the answers and write. And there was a one kid among the group, is this gentleman called Manoj, who gets a little bit of faith in the system and then believes. Second instance, and this each and every instances we may be going through to connecting back how we can learn. Each and every negative circumstances can take you to one step closer when you really see connecting the dots, looking at back. Well, somehow his father loses the job, and the both brothers decided to do something in order for their living. Well, as the story goes, and then obviously they get into the fight with the locals of the driving, and they go to the police station. And as you may know, that probably those places, police stations, are a little scary. So the little kid at that age, he runs to the police officer who came during that examinations, and then he asks for the help. And then the police officer goes and helps him. And that is the turning point for the little boy. And then he tells that he just goes out and say he wants to become like him. Face and with a smile. And then the police officer says that you cannot cheat. So that one word changes the entire course of his trajectory for the life. So we may have people in our lives, and we come across someone intentionally or unintentionally. Their words change our life, and then many things can happen to us sometimes. If you really pay attention, that those are the turning points which can change the entire our life trajectory, and then can become something great. And if you take some things to your heart, and this is what happened to this boy in this movie, that the next year, obviously the policemen got transferred, and examination continues as usual. The school teachers writes everything, answers, and everyone comes first class. But this boy keep remembering the word of the police officer, no cheating, next time in order to pass the examination. But eventually, without cheating, he comes third class. But that's his achievements for the life already, the first step. Then obviously he wants to go, like I said, the grandmother money gives, and then he loses the money, someone takes away, and then he meets one of his friends, becomes close friends in the future, and then he asks something about the examinations, about the courses, and he has absolutely, in that movie he talks about like 2-3 times that in a Hindi, that you have no idea what IPS stands for, you have no idea what UPS stands for, the first one, and I help you. And then yes, and people can help you, but it doesn't mean that he did not put his work, or he did not put his efforts. So, but those are the key moments, and the boy takes him to Delhi, and of course the determination, as you can see the entire movie, he struggles everywhere. He works in a hostel, he works in a hotel, he works in a library, and whatever the remaining times after working, he goes to study. He put his day in and day out to the process. Out of if it is only 4 attempts to write, and then he just gets there on the 4th attempt, but then there is a lot of struggle and determination to this boy in order to achieve that final goal. But yes, there are situations that he loses his motivation, and then someone drives him, but at the end of the day he always have this determination to move further in order for him to achieve that. What would happen if he didn't achieve? Well, he tells in the final question answer, he says that I'll go back to teach the kids and educate the kids. So that's also inspiring, the way he gives an answer. So that is about his determination. Don't forget his hard work. How much you have at this point of time, and how much hard works are you putting? He used to work 12 to 13 hours, say, let's in a library, a hostel, or a hotel, and the remaining hours he used to study while sleeping only 3 hours a day on an average. That's what movie says. But let's say here and there, because he didn't have time, he needs to make money to support his family as well. He needs to support himself at the same time. He needs to focus on his studies. That's not an easy task. That's not easy at all. And when we look back, so many things given to us right in hand, and then we still make a lot of excuses for not to achieve what you want in our life. A simple discipline of not working that hard, but simple discipline of reading something on your subject which interests you can change the entire course of your life's trajectory if you really determine. How determined are you is the most important. I would say his key moments in each and every one's lives was that the starting from the beginning of the key moments where uh, everything takes one step closer is that the police officer is the influence for him, and then first he takes away the cheating out of his life. The second is his grandma helps him to move further. What he learns from his father is from the childhood is never give up attitude. Then he meets his friend in a hotel while having a meal, and he takes him to Delhi, and then he helps him to find a job, and helps him to guide what is this entire process of attending these exams, preliminaries, interviews, so on and so forth. And then eventually he meets another colleague in Delhi for him to get support from his experiences and from his mistakes. And then the girl helps him to motivate, and finally, of course, he achieves the final call. Could not He could not speak a single word of English. It doesn't mean the one word he says that drinking water either by the glass or steel glass, you're still drinking a water in a different forms. So if you are willing to serve, language is not the barrier. And that's a powerful example that he gives at the end. If you're willing to do something, the language is a medium of exchange. But a key moment, yes, and also all these the failure, when you think that look back on all these difficult moments turned him to be a better man with his hard work and with his determination. It's something that we really need to take. Luck always helps you or fall in place when you're fully prepared. Universe will help you to achieve your dreams, and it will test you, it will break you before you get there in a different aspects, because probably he influenced that the character itself, the story itself influenced already a lot of people. I never read the book, but probably I will pick up that book and read a little bit more in depth. I'm sure they don't cover everything in movies, but these key points really changes one person's determination. In that movie also says that many people who's coming from those backgrounds will have a high spirit. It seemed like the person who climbed the Mount Everest first, but before that there was no one who did. But after a first person who put a foot on the Mount Everest, there are many people from there onward started moving in that direction, thinking that it is possible. But then there is someone, the first person who made that possible, went through a lot of struggles as well. So similarly, these kind of motivational stories will help us, and it doesn't matter which age you belongs to, influence us in a bigger way and motivate us in a right direction, irrespective of whatever the situation you may be going through in your life. If you haven't watched the movie, please go back and watch and leave your comments, thoughts, and what are your learnings from this movie for others to get influenced from in a good way in order to achieve. So if you have a strong determination, everything is possible. Yes, hard work definitely plays a key role, but also there is something interesting I realized. When you have no options left, there is some power within you pushes forward. If you look at that movie, there are moments you will cry. I mean, if you're sensitive enough, you will cry how much hard work he puts. There was a time he was working in a flour mill, and then same place he is sleeping, and then that's how he makes the money. And if we are into those kind of situations, man, that soul had a strong determination in order to achieve what he wants to achieve. And obviously, luck plays when he gives an interview, and then he just expresses himself. There also, before he goes for the interview, and then someone said the 12th fail, and then people look at him and said, "What the hell is he doing here?" But he still tells the truth that he don't want to cover up one mistake to the another mistake. There are so many life lessons you can learn from these simple things, that to cover up one lie you have to make another lie, another lie, and then it ends up nowhere. So be honest. If it happens. If it doesn't, mistakes happens. Yes, he learned from it, and then he didn't want to repeat the same thing. Wow, what a movie. Honestly, I really liked, and then I really thought that I thought of sharing this one, because somewhere down the line, who didn't watch the movie will help. But I suggest you to watch the movie and take the lessons from how it can help you to grow as a person. Covering back all these things, your present circumstances will not determine who you could become for the future. It may influence your present circumstances, but not the future outcomes. But you need to take an action. You need to have a strong determination, and the area where you want to achieve. People will come to help you in your darkest hours. Somehow, somewhere, there are key moments in this movie. Also, luck plays a key role and a key moments, which he didn't get in a first attempt. He didn't get in a second attempt. He didn't get in a third attempt. He did get thing on a fourth attempt, and happy ending, of course. So thanks for the story. Thanks for the real life story. And thanks for the gentleman who pushed his limits in order to influence or motivate a lot of people around the country. And then really salute and thank you once again. And then do watch the movie and take lessons, and also leave comments and thoughts, and then hope that helps.